So there's different types of isigubu or calabash nabantu abathwasa umsuthu that might not be using these things in order to govern amadlozi wabo. You have a gobela who has amathwasa I-30, 60, 100, and that's how they make their money. Itwasa labantu gets in there under the notion of thinking ukuthi they're going to get help and they are going to learn ubunyanga, but that's not the case. So people who will say now they are sangomas today, 2 years down the line they are quitting being a sangoma. Who said it was a job? When you have a calling, you don't just, and we mean a calling, not something that you can come in with one leg and get out like you were not doing anything. So my work speaks for itself. I don't need to be, trying to get clients by sitting next to igubu and putting money on the floor. People need to understand I was never born into poverty. That's one. I know a good life.
Sanibona igama uvela bahleka mdlavuza umahlasela ngomthondo abamba ngehlasela ngamavolobolo uTopu zamangisi ziyamfuna ezabesuthu ziyenqaba zithi bathunga umgube ngihamba with the one and only udokotela uma wena umfazi onamasende the herbal kapadia. So good.
Wow, that's loud. That is so loud. Wow. But yeah, I've been having quite a hectic week, so let's get into it.
So how are you feeling after the hectic week coming from the event?
The event was amazing. I think first and foremost, we need to thank all the women that attended the spiritual women's picnic. It was amazing. The love, socializing, being able to communicate and, experiencing people's issues and talking. And also we must not forget our lovely guest speakers, Mpho Abadimu, Dominique Nonzi, which she's known as Cucumber Pots, who was the MC, and then Ukoko Dumazi, and also Dr. Lwazi. So
and I would like to thank you too
for
being part of the event.
I was the organizer. Just putting it out there, but yeah.
So namhlanje sizokhuluma ngesigubhu. Isigubhu sazela kakhulu ku Facebook, TikTok, noma yiphi inyanga mongena ku TikTok ibeke into ethi ayibeso ibiza ngesigubhu apparently sibiza imali or something. So sicela ukuthi nje usichazele ukuthi siyini isigubhu.
First and foremost, njengoba ngize nale igubhu lezi akusiyigubhu engisebenza ngazo ngoba isigubhu osebenza ngazo literally needs to stay in a room that enganaspitipit. Do you understand? No, because I work with them. I mean, hello.
Okay, what are they for?
What do you mean, what are they for? Yes. For insebenzo.
Okay.
Angithi mawuya ekuthwaseni uthola isigubhu sabandawo, uthola isigubhu sobunguni, uthola amaphondo wamagedla, right? So those are the things that you have endumbeni yakho. I can't bring that here. I'll be disrespecting my ancestors.
Ngiyabuzwa mama, but umbuzo wami uthi okay, now uyahamba ethwaseni ubuya nazo igubhu lezi esobundawo esomnguni namaphondo. What are they for lapha endumbeni masekhona?
Well, it's for ukuthi ubunyanga bakho buphile, ubunyanga bakho busebenze. I can't really get into how we use them, do you understand? Because I'm not here to divulge secrets ezihambiselana nomthetho weshoba, umthetho wobunyanga. It is ukuthi when you go uyothwasa, there are certain things that you need to come back home with. It's to ground amadlozi wakho, to make sure ukuthi lento obuye nayo iyokhulisa ubunyanga bakho, right? But not ukukhulisa ubunyanga by sacrificing abantu or doing harm on amathwasa or whatever the case might be. Yimfanelo zakho obuya nazo. Just the same as ugqoka imvunulo mawugida ubunguni, right? Yimfanelo zedlozi nazo ziba yimfanelo zedlozi or amadlozi lawo wathwele lawo ohambe wawalungisela wawabuyisela ekhaya. So there's different types of isgubu or calabash or whatever people want to call them. Do you understand? People need to understand that. Hence, I am saying with you, when you go ephehlweni and you go ephehlweni the rightful way, where uhambile waphahla emadlozini, so that they can show you where it is that you're supposed to go and obtain your spiritual, now I won't say obtain spiritual gift, but enhance it and grow through that, and get the rite of passage through iphehlo. Because most people will just choose anybody and say, oh, this person is popular, let me go to that. But then you still also have sangomas who use igubu as amatwasa, ugudonsa amatwasa, right? But I will get into that one. I just want to say the different ones that I know. Then again, I'm not sitting here saying that I know everything. I'm talking about what I know. Right? And hence we travel all the time, is to gain knowledge, to understand spirituality on a different form or a different platform. So le gubu lezo ngibuza ngazo are the ones engizitholile mina ephehlweni. Do you understand? Ngizithole ngomthetho weshoba. Isigubu sobunguni, isigubu sobundawo, amaphondo wesifazana no womuntu wesilisa. Because as fun. Do you understand? But those are there to uplift, enhance, protect, grow ubunyanga bakho.
So let's say kunomuntu othi mina ngihambile ngako thwasa ngithwasile gogo ngiqedile ngenza, but mina lento okhuluma ngayo anginayo.
But isigubu is not supposed to be the one ebiza abantu ukuthi baze kuwe. Angithi isigubu is there as imfanelo yedlozi.
Sengisho ukuthi uthi uthwasile yena kanaso.
Like I've said, there are different kinds of spirituality. Nabantu abathwasa umsuthu that might not be using these things in order to govern amadlozi wabo. So for me, ngikhuluma ngezami engenazo. I don't really want to divulge and discuss how we keep them alive, because I feel like ngizobe ngikhipha imfihlo yomthetho weshoba.
Ngiyabuzwa ne? But uma ukhulu sisakhuluma nje ngayo kanjalo nomthetho weshoba nakho konke lokho, lesigubhu lesacabanga ukuthi sidume kakhulu ku Facebook, sidume kakhulu ku TikTok, la kuthiwa khona uma unalento le ngathi ubeka la ulale uvuke nemali, amavideo amaningi anenyanga ukuba lesigubhu ube nemali eningi.
Hence, I'm saying there's different kinds. There are people who go by Twasa. They will still have those things and then still keep them in a sacred room in Dumba, where Agnes Piti Piti, but Guangen abantu bazohlola, right? Which is idlos vele liyathanda ukubukwa. We can't hide that. Akusi isithwalo sokuthi manje awufuna abantu babone. I mean, your common Joe who wakes up, goes to work, who doesn't exercise spirituality, who doesn't phahla to an extent of ube inyanga. Do you understand? If people were to see you having this in an open space or in a room where people can come in and out, obviously there'll be questions. Why do you have it? Yes, it is go Facebook, go TikTok, and whatever the case, because people think that this is what brings money.
So it doesn't bring money.
There are different ones. There are ones that bring money. Sikhona isigubhu business. Sikhona isigubhu matwasa. You have a Gobela who has amatwasa 30, 60, 100. And that's how they make their money. Because they don't make their money in Tsebenzo, but they make the money in amatwasa. Itwasa labantu gets in there under the notion of thinking ukuthi they're going to get help and they are going to learn ubunyanga. But that's not the case. I get you get attracted to people who have 100 twasas initiates, who have 30 initiates. Ask yourself, when do they teach these initiates? How do they teach these initiates? Number one, when you have a calling, you don't just, and we mean a calling, not something that you can come in with one leg and get out like you were not doing anything. And being a sangoma is not a job, it's a calling. that you are attached to. I've said this a number of times that I didn't want to become a sangoma. I still believe till today, if I did not come back and go through what Mason was putting me through, and then I was told that I needed to do this to make sure my son is okay, I would still be in America. I would. And that was my life. So anybody that really goes through the calling and understands the calling is not somebody who planned to have that be a part of their lives. They came when you least expected it, and everything was just, I was at a loss, and I was feeling as if I was going to lose my child. So people who will say now they are sangomas today, 2 years down the line, they are quitting being a sangoma. Who said it was a job? Who said being a sangoma is a job?
Because now Dr. Maweni siyambona unemali uphila kahle.
No, what people need to understand, I was never born into poverty. That's one. I know a good life. I mean, I've grown up with that. But two, also my work speaks for itself. I don't need to be, trying to get clients by sitting next to igubu and putting money on the floor and saying, come, let's gupu, let's mali, because that's not true.
But so you do understand that there are kids who look at you nowadays and say, yes,
you can never be me.
Because ukoko Maweni
you can never be me. I mean,
uyisangoma ukoko Maweni uyisangoma yazi nami thi ngihambe ngiyotwasa khona ngizofana ukoko Maweni.
But you can't just choose uyotwasa bakithi. You cannot. I heard someone saying that anybody can be a sangoma. Where? Please tell me where. Where? Are you talking about the initiates that you are you are teaching? The ones that don't know anything, that don't even know how to ukwenza imbiza. Asiyeke imbiza ke asibeke one side. Abangazi ukuthi bahlahluba ini, bahlahluba kanjani. All they know is how to sing and guitar. Do you know there are some traditional healers who are gobelas who use umhlabathi wasemathuneni ukuqaba labantwana labo? But they don't know obviously abantwana ukuthi bafakwa ini. Ngithi bona babatshela ukuthi yimithi. You see them bagida uncontrollably, or mabakwaza, the spirit takes over their bodies and they act out of character. And back it, do you know there are healers who do that?
So you mean to tell me ukuthi kuyenzeka ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi umuntu masimbuka sicabanga ukuthi usedlozini kanti akekho?
No, I won't lie ukuthi amadlozi akhona or awekho. Mina, I'm talking about my experience. You won't see me hamba ngikhwasa. Do you understand? One, idlozi lihlalisekile. And two, idlozi lami liyaphuma ngempela. Maliphuma liphumela into ekhona. There's something that needs to be addressed, or there is a message that needs to be sent out. So leyo ukuthi kunabantu abakhwazayo, abakhwaza amanga, that's them. Speak for yourself. If you've never experienced spirituality in that form, don't think we are all the same. I'm speaking for myself. I know idlozi. I know when that feeling comes over, I'm very emotional, I black out, I don't know what happens to me. And none of those moments were moments where I will fake idlozi. None of that. If that's what you were taught as Kupen, you must fake idlozi, you must act as if you said idlozi. I don't teach that. Hence, every year I only take on 4. If I want to stretch it, I'll take on 5 amatwasana, because it's very difficult to teach these kids. So what more if you have 60, 30, 100? How do you teach them? Amina, 4, 5. Because abantwana bakhuli ngokufana, number 1. Iphehlo lifana nesikolo. You can't have all your kids master maths and science. There are some kids who will master history and biology. And that's exactly the same thing. And for you to grade them at the same time, not knowing. You have kobelas who will arrive at a place and say, oh, you, when did you come in? What is your name? What is that? Akusumthetho weshoba lewo. Akunamntana ongena esikhupheni angakaphahlelwanga ngomthetho. aphahlelwe egedini aze nabazali bakhe bambike. There's nothing like that. But if unegona or unesigubu in layman's terms, esokudonsa amathwasa, obviously you randomly have kids come in there for you don't know. You don't know them because baza ngobuningi babo. Babiza yini yile sigubu lesa ngithi. That is how those sangomas make money, through these kids. But then you also find other sangomas who just take any child in jail just to say, Guti, you've got a squad of amatwasa, like it's a competition to have all these kids. Kabanga, these kids could have been at school, they could have been doing something better with their lives. When you know, Guti, you don't, but you are harboring these children under the word of ukuthi uyisangoma uyathwasisa ukobela. Number 1, ubathwasisa ngani ngoba awunansebenzo. Yini le ubathwasisa ngayo? People get excited seeing a line of amatwasan. You don't know how those people came there.
So uthi kunesigubhu sokudonsa amathwasa.
Yes, sikhona.
So lesigubhu masidonsa amathwasa sidonsa just a random person nomidlozi swelvele likhona.
This is what happens mawunesigubhu samathwasa. Umuntu uyeza uzohlahluba kubi. Wena ngoba you don't know anything, all you know is to tell people ukuthi banamadlozi fanele bathwase. If ungathwasi uzofa, if ungathwasi kine ekhaya mama kho uyashona or ubani mani uyashona. That's all you know. Awukwazi ukuhlahluba nokuhlahluba. You now, obviously, if somebody comes endumbeni yakho, already they're coming with the notion of saying, you know what, my life is not good. My life is in shambles. I need to find out the answers. And if a person hears obviously that's the last resort, right? Manje mina nginani nginalesigubhu lesa ngithi. Lesigubhu lesi njengoba sikhona endumbeni, phezu kwabantu abazile bazohlahluba. Yisigubhu lesi ezokudonsa. Mawucedile ukuhamba lapho kuloyo muntu lo bohlahluba uqala ukumphupha loyo muntu. Uyamphupha kunento ekudonsayo ukuthi ubuyele kuye. You fall in love, ifana nesimonyo, you know, do you understand? You fall in love with that person. Fall in love with the idea of that person being your kobela, because now this person has usebenzisa nezizwe. Do you understand? Usekakudonsile manje. You live there under the notion of going to speak to your parents. You have kids who don't speak to their parents, who just leave and go back to this person. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, Buz. So, something. Have you ever been in that situation where a person just randomly comes in,
Yes.
And what do you do?
Yes, I have. I've had that a number of times. Mina la ngikhuliswe khona ngokwedlozi. Umuntu awumphahleli esikhupheni sakho umzali angekho or owakubo angekho. Because nobody is forced. You're not obligated ukungena ephehlweni. We need to stop this thing of sangomas telling kids ukuthi, or people rather, you know, telling them ukuthi if ungangena ephehlweni you are going to die, or whoever's going to die, or things are going to become worse. Amadlozi wakho, some people remember banamadlozi because they need to fix izinto ekhaya. Baphatha amadlozi because kunezinto ekhaya bafanele bazilungisele. Kunedlozi elikhalayo. People need to understand that when people die, some people are caught between the living and the dead. And when they are caught in that virtue, they then bayahlupa. Do you understand? Kunezinto ezibabambezelayo ukuthi they must be able to cross over. Therefore, they will still come back to you. They will still want to make mention or for you to notice that there are certain things that you need to do. Hence, sithi sihlambulula amadlozi. Hence, sithi siyenza imisebenzi. Do you understand? Siyashweleza. So at the end of the day, when you have sangomas who are using lezinto lezi ukudonsa abantwana babantu, there's anyeke babe nensebenzo labo bantwana labo. They won't. Instead, they'll be part of a group of initiates from that specific gobela. Bagcwele ejaridini yakhe bangazi ukuthi bayenzani. Some of them will end up smoking drugs, whether they're smoking weed, whether they whatever. Baseskupeni. Some of them bagcina balalana baseskupeni. Baya tshontsha eskupeni. bayakhuluma amanga bayahleba bayalwa esikhupheni ugobela ukuphi nowhere to be found because you know what, there's too many of them, too many. How do you manage 100 kids, 60 kids at a go? How do you teach amathambo? Where does that come from? Noma bangathi idlozi lakho liyavula anyeke likuvulela ngaleyo ndlela because umsebenzi owenzayo akusumsebenzi alright. Ukuthwasisa ukukhuphula idlozi lakho ukulikhulisa and also giving birth to spiritual kids so that they can also go forth and do the right things to other children. So ulikhuphula kanjani idlozi lakho usebenzisa amanga? Ngoba isithwalo sesigubhu siyohamba sifike la singasasebenzi khona. La sizokushiya nje unga-understand ukuthi kwenzakalani ngawe. Ukhuluma izinto singaza-understand thina izangoma. Ngoba mina ngisangoma ngiyinyanga, ngiyasebenza.
Kuyezwakala gogo, kusho ukuthi kusekuningi ekufanele sikufunde kuwena. Tshela mina something ke, right? Kusho ukuthi ke manje sowumenze so nasi isigubhu sakho samathwasa ayangena amathwasa. So what do you do now? This child has graduated, seyahamba. Do you do the same for them?
I don't know how they work. As remember, once you have isigubhu samathwasa, your initial thought and your greed is to have a nation of your own, right? You're not thinking about those kids. Akunansebenzo labantwana abazoyithola. Akuna into abazoyifunda. Ngithi ngomuthi simple umuthi ifembo imdlamdlovu imakhwena you know, you name it, mkhanyakude iroslini, they won't know that. Abosikhundla impila, they would not know all those things. Mangamtshela umuntu uhlanganisa umuntu omhlophe akazi, hlanganisa umuntu obomvu akazi, hlanganisa umuntu omnyama akazi, abazi ukuthi abomabopha yini, abazi, they don't know because the gobela itself doesn't know izinto. Uzokutshela ngamaqanda, uzokutshela ngamaqanda namatiye namabisi.
So namhlanje sikhuluma ngezigubhu njengoba nizwile ukuthi njengamanje besakhuluma ngesigubhu samathwasa. Khuleka sokhuluma ngeinhlobonhlobo zazi izigubhu. Khona lesengisithandayo esengijwayele ukusibona kubekwa imali eduze kwaso. Ngicabanga ukuthi abantu abaningi abafuna ukwazi ngaleso and ugogo uzositshela kabanzi ukuthi le yamali iqhamukapi gogo.
Right, so with the other one angithi kune scoop or igona le business.
Yes.
And you need to remember not every ilena iskupu is deadly. It's not there to kill your family members, right? Especially in my kind of line. Mina mangipha or ngenzela umuntu iskupu, it needs to align namadlozi wakho ekhaya. So that mawusihlabela uyaziphuzisa igazi, right? Ukusikhulisa, ukukhulisa nebusiness yakho.
So
however, there are terms and conditions of getting it. You need ukwenza sure ukuthi umuntu uyamhlahluba ubone ukuthi amadlozi ngoba mina ngisebenza ngamadlozi angithi. Sikhona isigubhu ongasebenza ngamathambo ngezinto izinto ezisemzimbeni ezomuntu.
Ngithi ngiyalapho ukuthi njengoba uthi siyahlabelwa siphuziswa igazi likabani.
No, this one is harmless, Shem. It's very harmless. You just need to maintain it at least 4 times a year. Uyahlabela. Uhlaba imbuzi or uhlaba a sheep or uhlaba a cow. It's up to you. Ngoba angithi uzoyenza njengoba kuvuleka. Here we're using that one. We're not in a hurry. But we are seeing a difference and it is very safe, right? So uthola isigubhu se business, you need to make sure ukuthi la uzosifaka khona, it's not a room yesiphithi. It's a room maybe you and you have a wife, not a girlfriend, bakithi. A wife, do you understand? Maybe mawuphahla ukhona naye and you introduce umfazi wakho to amadlozi wakho naye azi ukuthi isigubhu sikhona phakathi komuzi. Isigubhu leso sifana naleso, it's not only there to enhance business yakho, but it's also there to protect your business and to protect your family or people that are living in that place, you know, in that property. One, you need to make sure it's in a room that is secure where people don't move around or people don't get in anyhow. If you are a female, you cannot go kuleso scoop leso ukhulume naso ekseni ngoba inomthetho. Ufanele ukukhulume naso ekseni. Every morning kunezinto ofanele uzisho lapho. Inemthetho yaso. There's weddings that you need to say. Ukusivusa ngithi. Ngoba lesigubu lesi sisebenza ngawe nensila yakho. Even masikhandwa, sikhandwa ngensila yakho. Sikhandwa ngegazi lakho. Sikhandwa ngamazipho wakho. Do you understand? There's so many things that you need to put phakathi kwaleso scoop, including imithi, izinto eziphuma kuwe, so that they align. Nemali leyo ozobhadala, usibhadalela leso scoop leso, leyo mali iyandlaliwa phansi. Ugcatshwe. Do you understand? Ugcatshwe ngemithi ekhona phakathi kwaleso scoop leso, because now you are becoming one. But it is harmless leso scoop leso. Mangithi harmless, I'm talking about the fact yokuthi it's not there to kill everybody in your family. It's there to enhance your business as long as usiphakela, usithelela, usiphuzisa. Mangithi usiphuzisa, ngikhuluma ngokuthi usihlabela. Maybe every 4 months uyahlaba. Whether uhlaba imbuzi, uhlaba a sheep, uhlaba inkomo, nakhona inkomo fanele kuyihlabe ubone ukuthi hayi manje sengisebenzile. Do you understand? And uyibona insebenzo yakhona. Angeke uhlabele ikona inkomo ubone ukuthi hayi angakafiki la ngifuna ukufika khona. Because sometimes you need to sit back and look at uthi uphuma kuphi and how far you've come, and a cow is well deserving. Do you understand? But mawuhlaba wenza sure ukuthi uyasiphuzi, uphuzisa le kona leli ukukhulisa lesithwalo sakho esihambiselana nekona, or okay, maybe I mustn't call it ikona, iscoop, because another word for iscoop is ikona. Do you understand? So hence I'm saying, you put it in a room, nobody walks in. But if you are a female, when you're on your periods, you cannot go in there. You cannot go in there or your kulumana leskupules, because once you're on your period spiritually, you are seen as dirty. You're seen as unclean. And then also, if you are a male and umuntu ohamba hamba alala, you cannot go in there or your kulumana. So fanele usihloniphe. Fanele usihlambulule ugeze ngezinto to cleanse yourself so that you are able to kneel ukhulume usibikele. Ufanele ukhulume naso leso scoop leso ngathi ukhuluma nomuntu. Do you understand? But it is harmless. It's not something that's going to kill people in your family. It's mainly for there to enhance, protect, and grow the business. Hence, I keep saying, Uguti, when people come to me, you must come with the idea of, or with knowing rather, that you have something that is supposed to generate income. My job is to enhance it, to make it explode, become bigger than what it is supposed to be, with the help of your ancestors.
So lesi scoop lesi sizosiza ukukhulisa osekuvele kukhona.
Yes.
Ayukuthi zwamba mina ngithi ngiyofuna isigubu bese ngisibeke la ngiexpect ukuthi
no, although zikhona lezo zihambiselana nenyonga, they are put in this basket as so, right? Or you can get a clay pot. They are put in the basket. Inside the basket, guba nenyoka. Do you understand? And then guba nani, the actual calabash in the middle. But lapho sesifuna igazi lomuntu. There we are killing people. Do you understand? We are killing people. Every 6 months, every year, somebody in your family dies.
This is actually deeper than I thought it was. So lento le ithi isigubhu ngaba naso esi right, esi safe, esingabulali umuntu emndenini.
Thokoza.
Nayizwa le ndaba guys, empilweni isigubhu siyadingeka.
Why you laughing? Why?
You need isigubhu in your life to enhance yourself, right?
Yes.
Or your business, and
to give it that push.
To give it that, so it's like when you have isigubu, you have something to assist you ukukhulisa business.
Exactly. Yes, which is one part of isigubu. But we do have igubu that are bad.
Okay.
We do. Ngathi neinkabi banesigubu sabo.
Awungene lese inkabi.
Esihambisana.
Interesting.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Word on the street, Winkabi.
Interesting.
Is that why you want to talk about
want
it?
to know.
Word on the street is Winkabi, my babe. That's word. Yeah,
Maybe
word
we
on the
should-
street.
At some point, maybe we should explain what does inkabi mean. People don't understand the real meaning. They don't know. Once wathi umuntu inkabi bazukuthi ukhuluma ngombulali. Inkabi, it's actually a hardworking person. Inkabi, that word is used for izinkomo that thiwani ngesingisi ukulima. Uma ubophela ulima ngeinkabi. Hardworking ziphendula isoyi zihlaba igeja phansi. Understand? Ngoba inkabi ihlaba igeja phansi ziphendula isoyi kuthiwa yini inka base balithatha leli gama leli balenzani balinikeza brotherhood. Abantu inkomo mawulima ngazo it's either zu 4, 6, 8 and 12. They working together. So izinkabi.
Okay.
Brotherhood inkabi. Hawu heshe inkabi yami understand mangafonela omunye nomngane wami la ngithi heshe inkabi uzomuza uzophendula uthi hawu sho inkabi yami yaphi should sengithi umbulali yini.
I'm just saying that.
No, I'm just saying.
I've seen on a particular podcast.
The word is
they've said Ugusi, you are inkabi. So I'm asking Ugusi, does it work the
Inkabi
same?
is actually a hardworking person. So the word itself it's misunderstood.
So you don't take offense to that?
Not at all. But yeah, I think they should call me that more. I think it gives me that. I've seen people are quite scared of me.
Okay, so like I've said, angithi kuna scoop samathwasa, kuna scoop se business esihambiselana nobuhle bebusiness conjoined with your ancestors angithi. Bese kuba nescoop esizodla abantu ekhaya. Emangithi sizodla to kill people in your home. Do you understand? Esihambiselana nenyoka. Yiso ke leso mawuvuka kunemali. Leso sikhona. Do you understand? But there are consequences to that. You can't think ukuthi you live a wonderful life and enjoy your monies and you're not going to feel anything. There's limits. You might have leso scoop leso. Let's say, for instance, there's a guy, ne? There's a guy in, I don't know whether it was Zimbabwe or Malawi. What he does is after doing the whole ritual to go to ube one naleli kona leli lihambiselana nenyoka lezi. You are then being given a chicken, ne? I'm not going to get into detail about the ritual, but I just want to sum it up for you to get the years on when you will live. Because you must know, Guti, you are selling your soul, you're giving your soul. There are repercussions for doing that, right? So this man, you go to him, uyachazela ngekona, or iskupu, as you call it. Uyachazela ukuthi iskupu sambiselana nenyoka, right? Inyoka, then you are put in that room, you are bagenzela izinto, you are naked for those days. Uyacatshwa, uyaphalaziswa, uyafuta, uyaya emathuneni, do you understand? And in doing that, when you have to take it home, right, you are then asked to go and buy a chicken, ne? And not those lamb tutus, those lamb tutus, let's pega fast. But I would think hard body. Yeah, but that hard body nakhona emhlophe. Kune angikhohliwe ukuthi bazibiza ini. Lezi ezinama color amaningi. Whether it's orange, black, and then it's got spots. Yabona leyo. And then you are given a meal, ne? And you throw the meal pants.
Ingwe chicken.
Mamela, you throw the meal pants. When you throw the meal, you came with this chicken. Ekaleni the chicken uyidlisa umuthi angithi. Uyakhuluma nayo. Angithi leyo nkukhu leyo njengoba uyidlisa. uthi ngiyakudlisa and njengoba ngikudlisa yimina usibani bani ngize la ngizoyenza into eso njengoba ngizoyenza ngiyakufuna ukuthi le ngiyenza ibe impumelelo, right? Then ulahlela ilena the meal pants. At some point mabacedile ukulayita lelo baso lelo, you leave the chicken. The chicken will eat the meals one at a time. If the chicken eats only 5 meals, you will live for 5 years. Meaning that lelo gona lelo or lelo calabash leso scoop statsile, it's only gonna work for you for 5 years.
Can't I maybe extend after the 5 years?
No, you can't. You're going to die. It's a sacrifice that you're willing to take for you to live this luxurious life. People must stop getting enticed and wishing that they were living other people's lives, not knowing what happens behind closed doors. There are people who literally today they were nothing, and in the next 2 days they are big. You don't know how. You don't know what they've done, and you don't know what sacrifices they've made. So if that chicken picks 7, you'll live for 7 years. But if it picks 2, you will live for 2 years. But this is now the things that they don't tell you before you've now been in the room, sacrificed your soul, sacrificed your spirit. You only find out these things when now you're about to be given this Leo calabash, Leo ebakjela you must go home. Do not open it until you get to the house. And when you get to the house, there's a ritual that you need to do. You're only told these things afterwards. That is why I say people are so quick and chacharach to jump into things that they don't know. And the sad thing is when you die, because you won't go and tell people what you did, when you die, the money goes with you. There's no money that will come into the family. However, the thing uyilethile wena phakathi komuzi izoyenzani izohlukumeza labantu basekhaya, izobavalela imisebenzi, izobagulisa, abanye bashade, abanye babambeka nesibeletho, they can't even have kids because of what you've created.
So niyezwa ke guys ukuthi your role models labeni babukayo nifisa ukuphila impilo bayaphakela shukuthi now
not everyone. Stop it. Not everyone. Some people are just blessed just by the grace of God and they don't need to do all these things.
But why are you defending
No,
them?
I'm not defending anyone. I'm just saying not everyone. We can't put everybody in the same pot. That is why I'm saying even don't think akusebenzeli when. If when amadlozi wakho awaphumi and you had to pretend, don't think the next person is pretending. You are not in that person's shoes. Don't generalize. If wena ubunyanga bakho buphelile, it's ubunyanga bakho buphelile. Ungathi ubunyanga buphelile ngoba wena you decided ukuthi you're going to bow out. If you're going to bow out gracefully. Don't include us. Do your own thing. So even now, don't say everybody. There are some people who are blessed by the power of God and they just bazala bambethe bazala nengubo yabo. You know, izinto zabo zibahambela kahle.
But abanye bayaphakela.
Yes, there are people. I'm living proof that there are people. There are people that I help on a daily basis.
Right.
Mara ukuthwala ufane kube nesibindi. Akuthwali noma kubani. Ufane kube nesibindi sokuthwala. You must have that, you know, that spirit yokuthi angihlulwa yilutho. And njengoba ngingahlulwa yilutho, I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. Because izinto ezifanele ziyenziwe mawuthwala azange kuzodlala la. I can smile and be nice and whatever, but when I work, I work. There's a difference between ulien no maweni or ushobalenkom. And I believe people can see that. When I'm wearing weaves and, you know, I look glamorous, that's Leanne. Let me be, you know. That is the understanding or the covenant that I have with my ancestors, that I could still live my life as me and still do what they want me to do. That is why you can see the difference. I can change from that girl to this sangoma. That sigh is very deep.
Yeah, ngithi ngiyacabanga ngathi umuntu kumela ayophakela.
No, there's no need for us to do that.
So, guys, as you were listening, mesikhuluma ngesigubhu, isigubhu sokugenerator, isigubhu that will enhance your business, isigubhu esikhulisayo sisebenzisane nawe ebhizinisini. Asikhulumi ngesigubhu okuthiwa besingakafiki kulesi ekuthiwa ulala ungenalutho uvuka usu-rich. Siyeza lapho. So, njengoba sikhuluma ngesigubhu sebusiness, tell me something. Akwenzeki uzithole in the situation where sometimes manje your workers are dying or mhlambe just kunama random killings njengoba understand in your work area or in endaweni yakho la usebenzela khona, because manje angithi you need to sacrifice for this group at some point.
Okay, but you need to know there's something called mass killings, right?
Yeah,
mass ngesingisi it's called mass killings. Ufaka uthatha ipondo. Lapho azifani negroup, right? Uthatha ipondo. Ulfaka e-officini. Let's say you have a tavern, for instance. Right? It's part of rituals where people will just die in your tavern. And nobody knows how those people died. We've got churches as well.
Church?
Yes, churches. Guys, I said the last time, and I need that altar where you are throwing your offerings, your tithe. There's muti underneath that altar. Kunamakona, kunamapondo. You are giving to, you are worshipping that entity that they are using, ukudonsa abantu. And when you put it there, that means every time uba nemali, you have this sense or you've got this urge to go give tithe at church. In church, there's a lot of things that happen in church. So when we talk about mass killings, you need to do a big sacrifice in order for you to become great, in order for you to have power, in order for you to be feared. People die. And nobody can question that because nobody can understand. It's not like you went and you shot at the people or you knifed the people. Those people just collapse, they suffocate. It's a sacrifice. It's mass killings. And you are sacrificing to this entity that you are using to enhance your power, to enhance your wealth, to enhance your stature. People must fear you. Do you understand? There's makona. Do you understand? That's why pondo. Yes, fazana pondo umuntu wesilisa. There are dangerous things. Not everything is bad, but there are dangerous things. Hence, I said that when you do these things, you must have the willpower. You can't be scared when you do these things. You must be hungry to to say, I'm going to do this at all costs.
So now tell me something. You take this thing, it's working for you, right? And now you get to the point where you like, as in, I'm tired of this thing, people always dying at, let's say, my church or my tavern. What do you do?
No, but you knew people were going to die at your tavern. Ngoba uthwale ngemiphefumulo yabantu. You knew. You can't say you are tired. You knew when you went. Hence, I'm saying I'm trying to show you that there are different kinds. You knew. You knew that people are going to die. You can't say you are tired as if you didn't know. Kamo, when you are buying new cars, you're buying homes, your children are okay. It's a sacrifice that you are willing to make in order to sacrifice these people to this entity. You are feeding the beast, basically. And if you don't feed the beast is going to come after you and your family. So do you rather feed the beast or do you rather give your family to the beast? What do? You must choose. There's no coming out. There is no coming out. Unless if the way, hence ngithi umuntu makakwazi kuyifaka ufanele akwazi kuyikhipha. Angeke ukhiphe into ongakwazi kuyifaka. Hence why I'm saying, a lot of sangomas will say, hey, you are a witch, you do witchcraft, you do whatever. But if you claim you can heal somebody, you can heal someone. How do you heal that person if you don't know what they used in order for them to become, to be put under the spell of witchcraft? Are you not one of those witch doctors that you claim that you are not? You cannot heal something that you cannot do. Never. If you are going to heal something, you must know how to do it so that you make sure ukuthi lento oyenzayo le iyosebenza ngendlela ofisa ukuthi isebenze ngayo.
What if you are a retired sangoma? Like sangomas are retiring now.
I don't know that. I didn't know that sangomas can retire. I didn't know that being a sangoma is a job. I thought that it's a calling. Mina, I grew up this big age of mine. I will die being a sangoma or being inyanga because it's my life. It's part and parcel of me. I will never ever retire because there's no retiring. If ngempela truly you are truly gifted, there's no way you can say I am done. Start tearing, ripping things, burning things. You can't do that. If you have idlozi ngempela, you are called for this. You can't, because if you do that, there's consequences.
What are the consequences?
People get sick. Izinto zakho ziyavaleka. Some people die because unedlozi ngempela. But if you do all those things, you're burning, you are throwing away things, nothing happens, that means this was never your calling in the first place. You were just part of the trend.
So tell me something, right? When are you starting with your DJing career?
Not happening. I'm not confused. I'm definitely not a confused soul. I'm not confused. Because nowadays, if you're not a sangoma, you are a DJ.
No, because the reason why I'm asking is because you also get a lot of comments, social media, people asking you, Guti, when are you starting being a DJ?
I'm not confused. I will never become a DJ. Even with the whole podcasting space. My podcast is to inform, to make sure people know, they learn and they grow and they understand. Bangahambi bayenza izinto that they don't understand. This podcast is not about gossiping and talking shit about people. So number one, don't ever compare me to that girl. I will never be a DJ. I'm not a DJ. But also we must understand something. Umuntu that is spiritually aligned aligns with music. Maybe her true calling or whoever's true calling that is now a DJ, ihambiselana nomculo. Ngoba you can heal people with music. You can, you know.
On that note, angithi vele angithi njengoba wena uyisangoma, right? Umculi ucula ingoma, understand?
And it hits home.
Ngalawomazwi lawo kunabantu abakwazi ukulapha engathintanga umuthi, kodwa uma uke wakhuluma nawe uyasinda. Kunomuntu odalelwe kunezingoma ezibhalwa womnqobi kanje, ingoma efika ishaye phakathi enhlizweni idile naleso simo osuke ubhekene naso ngaleso sikhathi. Kunabantu othi mangabe umlalelile ekhuluma usinde uphile ekhulumile njengezanga lutho. And then kunabantu futhi who do the speakers, who are speakers are healers.
Motivational speakers.
Motivational speakers are healers.
Yeah,
They
so
heal people.
hence why I really, besides the fact that I don't gel with that girl, do you understand? Besides that fact, I'm not against what she's doing because I know with it, there's so many other things when we talk about healing where you can heal people in different ways. And maybe that's what she was called for and not for ubungoma. And ubungoma bakhe maybe aligns with prayer and then she just got wind, whatever ayathwale ngayo yaba yinkinga phezu kwayo yamhlukumeza njengoba manje sekafuna ukuphuma kuyo. But that's not my thing. That's her thing and we wish her luck with that because when it comes to music, music has the power to make you happy. And if you listen to music when you are sad, then you understand the lyrics because it has that power to heal you. Maybe that's her form of healing, right? But for me to become a DJ, that's never going to happen. I'm not confused. This is not an on and off switch. I was born knowing that I was different. From day one, when I started seeing things, feeling things, I knew I was different. I just didn't like the idea. I had to fall in love with the idea. I had to suffer spiritually for me to understand. That is why now I don't play around with my spiritual calling. I don't play because that's all I have. I live this life because of my ancestors and God. Without them, I've got nothing. I don't have time to be dabbling in making irons or making kettles and whatever. I don't have time for that. This is what I was called for. And hence I am saying that, the minute you take your spiritual clothes, you take your things, you bend them, nothing happens to you. This was never yours in the beginning. The minute you decide that you are done with spirituality and nothing happens to you and you feel no pain, this was never yours from the beginning. You chose it. It didn't choose you. You ran to it trying to seek some form of shielding or protection so that people wouldn't say, there's something wrong with you. Then it was never yours. But it's umuntu onabantu abadala ngempela. Othwase ngendlela right. Umuntu oyisangoma who is called to do this work. Athathe impahla ezedlozi lakhe, azishise, athathe impande, alahle amagono. Ngiyakutshela, mark my words. All hell is going to break loose because it is your true calling. But if you are able to do that, nothing happens. You were never called. You called them.
So, Gogo, you mentioned something here. Ukhulume ngesigubhu seyinkabi. I'm very interested for a friend.
But isigubhu seyinkabi sihlanganiswa nezinto zezizwe. Zihlanganisa namathambo wabantu. Zihlanganiswa nezinto esemzimbeni womuntu. People. So that ukuthi ufanele usabeke uqine. Do you understand? Ukuthi mangizogqaba ngigqabela ukuthi uyenza lo msebenzi lo owenzayo, nothing must happen to you. You must be protected. Ube nesibindi sokuthatha umphefumulo. Lo mphefumulo lo uthathela bani? Lesigubhu lo so onaso. Right? But that is hence I'm saying, are you okay with being called inkabi? Because when we talk about inkabi, a lot of people associate that word with a guy that kills people. There are people who do that for a living, and they do believe in traditional healing. They believe in izangoma or inyanga. You have inkabi, and I know you did say what the meaning of inkabi is. I just don't have another word to call them, right? You have inkabi who will go to sangomas first to check impilo yaloyo muntu loyo that they're going to take, right? Hence, consultations are important before doing anything. Hence, I always say to people, sometimes you just don't need this, There are other ways in order to enhance your livelihood or your wealth or whatever the case might be without obtaining these things. That's where consultation is key. But then you have people who are greedy that would want more. So even with these people that go and kill people, and that is the service they provide, before killing that person, you need to go to a sangoma or inyanga. And I differentiate isangoma nenyanga because people must understand ukuthi isangoma iyalapha iyaqinisa. Inyanga iyalapha iyaqinisa ikhona nokuphindisela emuva. Right? That's why I mentioned the two. And inyanga isebenza ngemithi kakhulu. Inyanga in the olden days bengahambi ekuthwaseni. But they go to these traditional places and they check ukuthi mangifuna ukukhipha umphefumulo na amadlozi waloyo muntu loyo ayavuma na. If amadlozi angavumi, then you are going to encounter problems, right?
So kuyenzeka idlozi lo muntu livume naye.
Yes.
Suke trouble make suke sewadini.
Yeah, usuka ukuthi umuntu akanakekele amadlozi amflathele or uphehlele amanzi amnyama. Therefore kufana nesichitho. Isichitho, especially with me, angihambi ngiyenza nje isichitho. There are methods and there are things that you need to do before taking that step, because you also don't want to anger your ancestors doing things that you are not supposed to do in order to make somebody happy. The sad thing is, once you say no to that client, they will go to the next sangoma who's willing to do it, not understanding which the results won't be there because that person is protected. Angeke uyohlukumeza umuntu oyenzela amadlozi wakhe okhanyisela amadlozi, ohlabela amadlozi, ophahlela amadlozi, obaphakamisile, who is protected by their ancestors and God. You cannot do anything to that person. Do you understand? However, if you are looking for a person ozitshela ukuthi huye does not believe in spirituality, they believe that they are untouchable, they don't do anything for their ancestors, they are not protected spiritually, it becomes a problem. Then lesifiso leso sifunayo sizoyenzakala ngoba uyamcheck umuntu uthola ukuthi kubo bekufanele kube nenhlambululo, or somebody has committed suicide, abamgezanga loyo muntu loyo, uzibulale phakathi komuzi, ukungcolise umndeni, abanye umuntu ushonile le estradeni. Another problem that people don't understand, when somebody is in a car accident estradeni and they die in the streets, whether highway or wherever, go fetch that person's spirit. There are sangomas who are using those spirits because those spirits are lost. Do you understand? Those spirits want to be cared for. There are sangomas, there are nyangas that go, including myself, that use those spirits to do certain things because those spirits want to be cared for. Bafuna ukulaliswa kahle, bafuna ukuba amadlozi ahamba that will go to the next life. But if they are lost, there was an accident and you don't do anything and you leave them there, and those are the kind of spirits that, you know, will do things for you. It's very important that if somebody dies at the freeway or wherever the case might be, go and fetch that person's spirit. Mlaliseni kakuhle, mhlambululeni. Do you understand? So if Inkabi goes to, I'm going to say a traditional doctor, because under the umbrella of traditional doctor, we have Isangoma, we have Inyanga, we've got a prophet, a prophetess, or whatever the case might be. Do you understand? Izangoma sebenza ngomhlahlo, izangoma sebenza ngezizwe, izangoma sebenza ngomndawo abafembayo, whatever. So I'm going to say traditional doctor. Because yeah, with traditional doctors, silapha ngemithi. Do you understand? That is why we are called traditional doctors. But anyway, I'm not there. So if Inkabi goes to a traditional doctor, they have to check first ukuthi na njengoba uyoyenza lo msebenzi lo, when you are going to kill someone, are you going to encounter problems? Is this person, you can shoot a person but they don't die. Do you understand? They don't die. I guess the aim of you going there is to take somebody's life. Against they don't die. You shoot them and they don't die. That means ukuthi ulwele yini amadlozi wakhe. Umuntu uyacelwa emadlozini. Uyacela amadlozi wakhe ukuthi nanku sibanibani lo muntu sekayahlupha emhlabeni. And njengoba ahlupha emhlabeni sesifuna ukuthi nimthathe nimbuyisele lapho kubo. Lapho
niyomfundisa inhlonipho.
You ask, you don't just do things spiritually, you ask, because sihlonipha lento esiyiphethe, sihlonipha lamadlozi asiwasebenzisayo. So that, let's just say that happens, right? Then you have people abaneyigubu, abanamagona okuthatha imiphefumulo. Leyo imiphefumulo loyo, every time they kill, into imsebenzi yabo yaphakama. Do you understand? Ujabulisa ini, ujabulisa lesithwalo anaso. One, he becomes stronger. Two, uba nesithunzi. Three, the fear gets taken away. Agasasabi. Yeah, he goes in there. When he says, I'm going to kill, he will kill. But the sad thing about that is, even when it's unnecessary for that person to do things like that, ukreva igazi, ukreva ukubulala umuntu, they crave to kill people even if it's unnecessary. Because now remember, usowuthwele ngalo muntu lo ofanele uhlale umupha igazi lo muntu.
Umuntu manje mayese crave ngisho kugasela sidingo. Crave nokubulala abantu uyasizakala khona indlela ukuthi.
Yes, there is, because umuntu uyogcina ahlanya ngithi. Umuntu uyogcina paranoid. Kunabantu abangalali when they do these things. They're always scared. Every sound, they're like, you know, they're up in arms. They're ready to protect themselves, and it's unnecessary because there's nothing there. But in your mind, you feel as if kunomuntu that is after you. But also you must remember, in this strength that you are trying to obtain, there are spirits. Don't think you're going to kill somebody and you're going to live a happy life. If ungabagezeli labo bantu labo, uhlala naleso spirit within you, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your ability to do things. Imagine sleeping with a man that goes around killing people and they don't cleanse. Imagine what that does to the females, the spirits that they have been transferred, that's been transferred to them. That's where you get things like sleep paralysis, you get things like sexual dreams, where there's sexual ties or soul ties. Because there are certain people, when you sleep with them, everything of yours just depletes.
Uvele nje kuphele ngezinto zakho uthi uqala ibhizinisi livele liwe.
Uvele kuwe nje. Do you understand? So people need to understand amakona awafani iguphi mina ngijwayele ukubiza ikona ngoba ngisebenza ngawo angithi. But as you can see, these ones have imithi phakathi ngoba I just wanted to show the different sizes of amakona. Kunomuthi lapho ne.
So like let's say if I want a scoop for business this size, né?
I wouldn't advise somebody to start with that size. I would advise somebody to start with a size similar to this. And it grows as your business grows. And it's as lokuhlaba uyiphuzisa uyiphahlela wenzela izinto, it will grow with you. I wouldn't advise ukuthi umuntu avela aqale ngesigubhu esingaka angazi umthetho waso ngoba you are even tested when you have these things ukuthi one, can you maintain it? Two, can you respect it? And also, can you make sure ukuthi yonke imfanelo zayo umithetho yayo uyenza and they are aligned? Because some people want things, but when it comes to actually doing what needs to be done, they fail. So cabanga unesigubhu esingaka. Ufika kanjani kule sigubhu esingaka? Ungakwazi ukunakekela lesi sincane.
What if mina ngithi ngifuna lesi business sami likhulu? I want to start.
I'm telling you, the problem about people is they don't want to hear advice. They want to do. That is why when you say no to a client, they will move on to the next sangoma that they think is able to do whatever they need to do, right? I'm advising ukuthi umuntu angafiki ayofuna isigubhu esingaka nje angakwazi ukusimaintaina, angakwazi ukusihlonipha, angana nendawo yokusifaka. How many day in day out there are people who come bafuna igubhu. But isigubhu mina isigubhu sami ke asiphumi nje. Sinemithetho. And futhi fanele ngisibuze to my ancestors, I must ask them. And in asking them, I must also ask your ancestors ukuthi bayavuma na. Unless if we are tapping into the dark side. But that dark side, there's consequences. And if you are willing to sacrifice yourself, sacrifice your family to feed the beast, or in order for you to kill other people, then that's on you. It's got nothing to do with me. Do you understand?
Ngicabanga ukuthi ohlelweni lanamhlanje sifunde lukhulu ngegubhu. Ngizwe ukuthi khona nesamathwasa. Anithwasanga nini? Okay. We are not there.
No, babe, we're not there. Leave the sangomas, the kovelas that have 20, that have 30, that have. I want to go to man namatwasa ay 30, namatwasa ay 50. Mabavusela bonke. Uyaba mamela bonke. What is it like? How do you teach all those children? Ngathi ngihlupha mina amathwasa ay4 because I feel guilty. You cannot just harbor people's kids in your home and not teach them. Okay, they cannot live without understanding umthetho weshoba, ukuhlahluba. Mina, here's the thing, ne? Take ithwasa lami, ne? And I actually dare anybody to do this. Take ithwasa lami, challenges on, and bring ithwasa lakho elisesikupheni abahlahlubi abayenze imithi sibone ukuthi wena onamathwasa ayi30 amathwasa ayi60 compared to somebody onamathwasa ayi4 ukuthi ubani ofundile phakathi kwabo ngoba lezi zinto ukuthi bazenzayo ukudlala ngabantu badonsa abantwana babantu ngeigubhu abantwana basaya esikolweni abantwana abahlele emaphehlweni. Some of them are getting raped, some of them are sleeping around there esikupheni, some of them are drinking, some of them are smoking. All they know is how to sing and how to gita. but they don't know anything. Bawazi ukuvusela nje unga-understand ukuthi ukuvusa uboye ephehlweni wathwala umthwalo wakho ephehlweni ukuthi ufanele ufunde nje ukuvusela ufunde nje ukuqula ufunde nje ukugida. Uma ubuye ekhaya nothing, you don't know anything, your things are not aligned.
Le nkulumo ethintayo namhlanje gogo inzima kakhulu. Don't you think we should invite someone onamathwasta is 20 azokwazi ukuthi usichazele mhlawumbe ukuthi yena wenza kanjani?
No, I'll be more than happy because trust me, I want to know. I would love to know. Is it fair on these children? Is it fair ukuthi you must take these kids and harbor them at your house? Number one, you don't even have time for them. Is it fair that these kids must drop out of school? And I say kids because most of these people that have 20, 30 people, 40 people, abantwana laba bayakhona. Who want to hide under the word of siyenza ubungoma siyatwasa, that's why we are not going to school. These are people who don't have direction and bazifakile nje badonse yile zinto lezi zibadonsile ukuthi zibangene kuleso sikhupha leso.
But when you are taking it too far, indala leyo. You don't have to have a scoop anymore. You just go on TikTok and hlola online. So gogo namhlanje sikhulume ngesigubhu samathwasa, sakhuluma ngesigubhu seyinkabi, sakhuluma ngesigubhu sebusiness. Ugogo was taking us through i-journey yokuthola isigubhu sebhizinisi esamathwasa, uchazelile ukuthi kwenzakala ini kanjani khona lapho, wasitshela ngeseyinkabi. Very interesting that one.
Word on the streets.
So manje, what are we saying is siyabonga gogo. Thank you for being
my husband is out here calling me Gogo. It's so weird.
Thank you for sharing this information with us because
but it's not the full deeply, because there's certain things that as much as I talk about Ubunyanga, there's certain things that I would not get into detail with. Just for the sake of respecting umthetho weshoba, but just because you don't know something, it doesn't mean that thing does not exist. It's there. There are people who are capitalizing on it. There are people who are doing things in order to further themselves. And then you are looking on social media or you are looking at people's lives and you are wishing that you could be living those lives when you don't know what they sacrificed.
Siyabonga. A lot of sangomas wouldn't give us this kind of information that you are giving us for free, by the way. When a humble subscriber. Do you understand what I'm saying though? So thank you so much. We do understand that you might be bashed for some of these things that you are telling us because a lot of healers believe that this information shouldn't be shared, especially on platforms like this, like social media and all of that. Thank you for taking
I will not stop sharing what I need to share. There are things that I don't need to share and I don't share those things.
So
maybe I should get wiser.
Guys, okay, I'm not gonna talk about that one. Thank you so much for watching. Please keep watching. We promise you to we're gonna go deeper, just like Papa.